Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks here to bring you your weekly flesh and blood market update. I want to give a quick shout out to Tommy. He will be doing the market updates over the next 2 weeks because I am off on an adventure flying away to Egypt to see the pyramids and the sphinxes. I cannot wait. It will be a good time. But I will be gone and out of country for 2 weeks, so I probably will not have time or access to do the market updates, much less keep up with the data. So please give him a shout out, give him a comment and like when he does it. We appreciate him keeping the data going. It is very important for our trends to be able to see accurate data on the right timetable. So shout out to Tommy. Thank you so much for doing that while I am away. Let's jump in. Tales of Aria Unlimited boxes down 8.62% to $53 a box. It's Tails Unlimited, nothing too special there. We have seen it at these prices before. We've seen it as low as, I think, 50, 51, 52 sort of range many months past, and it comes back down here a lot. So this is kind of its floor. It just hangs out at every once in a while before going back up. Nothing too crazy. Let's jump into the unlimited cases. Mon is up 23.38% to 248. That's a big jump. Still a good price for a case. 248 for a case. It is unlimited, so you don't get the cold foil collectibles. But the rainbow foil collectibles are still in there, and those are becoming more popular. We'll talk about that in a second when we go into the card section. But it's definitely a thing that's becoming a collectible trend. There's some warnings there, but we'll talk about that in a second. But point being, price jumped quite a bit. Still very reasonable price. We did talk about how cheap it was when it was 200 a case. It was kind of insane that low. I think 248 is a very reasonable low end. And something else that may be happening. I believe James White officially said in an interview that Prism was coming back this year. Now, the thing he didn't say, or the thing that I think we got to be careful about assuming, is that Prism would be light Prism, light illusionist, right? Remember, Starvo came back with different elements. Let's see, Arachne is going to be a different guy altogether, right? We assume because his health is different, his health total is different, so his text is going to be something different. I don't think there's any talents in Outsiders, so it's unlikely that it's a talent-based thing. So just keep in mind that they can transform heroes when they bring them back, and in fact, they often do. So if you're thinking Monarch is a great speculation for Prism, just be aware that it may not end up being, right? That said, I would love to see him revisit Light and Shadow. It's an area of the deck building that hasn't been touched since Monarch, so having some more cards to play with in that area would be awesome. Just don't know. We just don't know for sure that that's the case. All right, moving on to first edition boxes. 26.5% down. WTR first. This is all kind of nonsense. We've talked about this. In fact, one of our commenters had posted in the last video the actual last sold, confirmed sold prices for the cases. I'm sorry, the high prices, the all-time highs, and they were pretty interesting. Point being that we know on eBay there's a better price for this. It's like under $3,000. So just take all this with a grain of salt. This whole thing is kind of nonsense. It's probably not worth paying too much attention to, but I thought I'd put it on here anyways. Just track the data as we do. Short shout out, Mon first edition box is down or up 3.49%. Not quite to the point where we would normally call it out, but I just wanted to point that out considering the other Mon jumped. This is steady rising as well. It's just not rising as quickly. That said, 89, it's been at that price range for quite some time. So we'll have to see if it breaks out of this range going forward. Dynasty, $87, 4.82%. Nice little shout out there. No heat map for it. It's still too low, but Dynasty is on the way up. Crazy to think the most recent set has an upward pressure in the market. Now, how far does it go? How long does it stay there? Obviously, these are questions that we need answered before we, declare victory on this. But the point being is that there is actual upward pressure on a recently released product. This is something new to 2.0, right? In the past, it was just downward pressure waiting for the market to let the bottom out for the map pricing timeframes, right? And then drop right down to the next tier and just stay there. We don't see that with Dynasty. That's pretty impressive. I like how they're doing this. They're definitely managing the supply quite well. Moving on, Mon first edition cases up 16.22% to 394. Again, could be speculation. Again, all this stuff was pretty low priced, and I get it. History had this terrible feeling about Mon. That said, I think that feeling is fading, and or we're getting enough people, new people in that they don't even know about it, don't care about it, and just like the products, like the heroes, there's a lot to like in those boxes, especially if you're playing kitchen table and don't really care about what's banned, what's living legends, all that sort of stuff, because they're fun to play. They really are. Those Heroes Chain was a blast. Prism was a blast. I know Tommy doesn't like Prism, but she was a lot of fun to play. Very unique kind of feel to her. A little aggressive, I suppose, but that is what it is. All right, moving on. Tales of Aria, 14.68% down to 250. This is the first edition case. Really low prices. You got to consider this a steal at this point. We have seen it this low before? Question mark. Let me look. I know we had some low prices. I don't know if we got to 250 before. No, I don't think we've been this low. This may be the, oh no, yeah, no, I think this is the lowest it's ever been. So I think we're well outside of map on tails. So I think this is just the market saying, we're done buying tails. To be fair, we did jump really high, so this is a bit of a revision to the mean. It may be a little bit of an overstretched low. So if you're looking to buy some first edition tails, maybe it's the time to do it now. Now I would be careful though. There is a lot of supply in tails. We know that for a fact. So it's not something that's going to be a great speculation for a long time. But if you want to grab it at a low price, this is a pretty low price, lowest in history. So there's that. But again, not financial advice, no mortgages, no bank loans, no credit card debt, right, guys? You financially responsible people out there, guys and girls, you use your money wisely, you invest wisely, you spread it around, you diversify. That's the way to go. But again, this is entertainment. I have no financial advice for you. Anyways, moving on to Everfest, down 11.39% to 210. That is really, really cheap. I don't think we've ever seen that. And we have. Never mind, 197 once. Wow. And honestly, Everfest, there was a lot of. Now, here's the question. You might not have noticed. Up here, the Unlimited is gone, right? Everfest Unlimited is gone for my charts. I'm very excited about that. I can't go and mess it up anymore. Hopefully it didn't break the charts, but I don't think it did. But yeah, so Everfest First is all there is. So part of there being an unlimited amount of Everfest was that Unlimited had theoretically been printed and was sitting in a warehouse somewhere waiting to be dumped on the market. That was one of the downward pressure things for it, right? Well, they took it off the website. It's officially not happening, I guess. Officially, unofficially. Officially without saying anything. So it's not like they made a hard statement. They just removed the notice about it because it was way past reality. It said it was going to come out in September. So, yeah. Does that mean the supply of Everfest First Edition got cut, essentially, because Unlimited is never coming out, so there's just going to be less of those cards overall? I mean, I think they printed a lot of Everfest, because this was in that crazy post-Mon hype bubble where they had to do this print run probably as this was coming out. They had to decide. So they were seeing a large demand, printing more and more each time. Went too far with both Mon, but didn't know it until later. Tails, obviously, there's a lot. And then Everfest, we believe there's even more of. We don't have confirmation on any of this. But with that in mind, these had Unlimited, right? This doesn't. So now you can see the total supply of those cards is reduced. How much does that affect the prices? I don't know. Reality is this will be a long-term speculation on anything of those three just because of the nature of how many were printed. That said, $200 for first edition anything is pretty good for a case. All right, moving on to the cards. Let's take a look. So I wanted to chat about this. Unlimited, special, unique rainbow foil cards. They're not like hard to come by. Some of them are super cheap. But what you'll see is they are selling. Unlimited edition rainbow foils. So yeah, we have regular buys of these and they're just kind of slowly disappearing. You can see these prices pump up and then they cool down, pump up and cool down, and it's been going on across the board. WTR, ARC, and Crew, and it's rare and above is what it looks like, and it's cards that are iconic, right? your Fate for Scenes, your Sink Belows, Snatch, obviously, Sigil of Soulless. I started to look at these ones. I actually bought some of these in rainbow foil because the traps will probably be kind of iconic with the new trap guy. I assume these will be usable by him, Riptide. So I got a couple of these rainbow foils. Point being, some of these older cards, iconic cards, Razor Reflex, Pummel, are slowly being eaten up by the market. Now, that said, there is a ton of them, right? There's a ton of them. So don't be too greedy with it. And on top of that, this is the real kicker. There is an amount of reprinting that's allowed because they're rainbow foil. They're not cold foil. So keep that in mind when you're out there thinking that you're going to be part of a buyout on rainbow foil cards. Yeah, see, these have gone way up. These were like $20 not that long ago. Let's view the sales history. Yeah, look at this. They were down in the 20s 10 days ago. Now they're 45 and making sales there. So yeah, just be aware this is happening. For some things, I think it started with Enlightened Strike, which apparently was short printed in the rainbow foil version. So that started to happen. They are gone. Let's see if I can even find any under 200. Why is it? There it is. And then it kicked into a bunch of others. Now, this is a Majestic, so keep that in mind as well. So that is different. Let's make sure we're looking at the right one because there are multiple versions. Yeah, they're selling for $150 now. That's crazy. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, they were in the 70s that just a little while ago. It looks like there's more listings now. That's good. Last time I came here, there's 2 listings, and it was like this one and this one, 225 and 279. So there's more listings. They're still at insane prices. Looks like one's available for $90, which is a steal? Question mark. It's still $20 over the historic levels. I don't know. It's rare, but it can be reprinted in rainbow foil. It's not, cold foil level rare. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this stuff. Realize it's at risk. I will say that I participated in some of this because I did enjoy the... Oh no, what did I do? I did enjoy the idea of having some of these old school rainbow foils. So I got, some tomes. I love the tomes. I have a ton of tomes of all the tomes actually in rainbow foil. So when Tome of Findel was being targeted, I grabbed some before it got too crazy. That's how I knew it was in the 20s. And there's just a bunch, and there's first edition cards, which are first edition. Reprints can happen of all the rest. Now, how much does that matter? I don't know, right? The unlimited is no longer a thing. So are they kind of special? Yeah, probably, because there'll never be an unlimited set again. So, there's a trade-off. There's something to consider. It is happening. It's worth paying attention to if you're into collecting, special cards, collectible things. I think the rainbow foils, especially good quality ones that aren't like chipped up and whatever, will end up being something that people look back on and cherish, especially those iconic cards. Your Tome of Findels in like how many decks for how long, right? Obviously, your Razor Reflexes, your Sink Belows, Energy Potions. I mean, these are critical core staples. Scar for Scar, less so. There's a couple different copies of that out there too. I think Fate for Scene is a runner-up. Sigil of Soulless is huge, right? Because that's definitely been a key card. Remembrance, another key card in multiple decks, right? So you have these cards that are going to be iconic, and people are going to look back and be like, "Oh, I remember, that was that card that screwed me over at that one event. I remembranced and it was useless, or I got it early in the game, so I didn't have my cards out and I had to pitch it, and then I couldn't do my my Warhorn or whatever, right? So it's going to be a key component to people's memory and therefore nostalgia, and having a rainbow foil one means it's more rare. Anyways, let's jump to the charts. I definitely think it's fun though. Anyways, WTR Unlimited up and to the right, like we've been talking about, pretty steady. Nothing too crazy. We're at this new elevated level. We'll see how it goes going forward, but I don't think there's anything to worry about here. It's just going to kind of steadily grow. ARC, oh, this looks so good. Look how small this list is. With Everfest gone, it's just a small little group. I know, I'm crazy. ARC, nothing to report. It is steady as she goes because this 118 price is kind of where it wants to be. I think that's fine for a while. We got to this new price level. It's being steady is good. Crew is bouncing around like a maniac. Last time we saw this double bounce situation, we ended up on an upside swing. I don't remember what product it was, but I remember talking about it. So let's keep an eye out. Crew may be moving up too in the next few weeks. See if Tommy gets a chance to see it, watch it fly up and be crazy. That's an interesting one. I am very curious how supplemental sets behave over the long term when they run out of product on something like an unlimited. Mon, as we said, jumping up high. Our big premium is intact and continuing to go up. I think the prices of the boxes will follow, but don't be surprised if we get a reversion to the mean and see it back down after next week. Tales of Aria, steady except for this crazy, case situation and box situation. Yeah, huge premium intact. This is just Tales of Aria Unlimited. It is what it is. We're going to have too much of it. WTR, nonsense. Let's skip that because it's just nonsense. ARC, pretty interesting. Came back down after this bump up. So the market really is trying to keep it in this range. I will say there's not many sales of this, and there's probably sales on eBay and other places. So worth checking that out if you are interested in buying that first edition ARC. Seems like a reasonable price, though, I will say. It doesn't seem like it's crazy, crazy high or crazy low. Crew has bounced off its high, but we did talk about how this went parabolic last week and that it would likely come back down at some point. We just weren't sure when. Looks like it's hit that peak and now it's steadying out. We'll see how this plays out with the cases and the boxes moving forward. As you recall, boxes, then cases, boxes, then cases. So case should be steady flat next week is the general idea that we've seen with Crew. Monarch is shooting up like crazy. I have no idea why. Maybe speculating on Prism coming out. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that one. I hope people don't get wrecked on Monarch. Wouldn't that be bad if people speculate on Monarch that first time and they got wrecked and it was so sad, and now people are back in speculating on it a second time and it ends up getting wrecked because she's not a light illusionist or something? Oh, that'd be so sad. Don't wreck Monarch for us, James. Please don't. Second Monarch destruction. It would be the most hated set for all time. All right, Tales of Aria first edition, bouncing around like a maniac, really low price. We did say that this was kind of a crazy spike when it happened, so coming back down is reasonable. I thought it was going to come down to the mid-range because usually these things tighten. This is widening, so I'm not sure what that is. Maybe we're starting to run out of supply or something, and this is that crazy, like, try to figure it out and get it off the shelves sort of thing. I don't know, honestly. That one's a little weird. And Oldhim. That's also a factor. Everyone loves Oldhim right now. Or hates him, actually. I just saw some video like, Oldhim is the worst thing ever. I hate it. Sleepy games or something. I can't. It was so weird. They were so angry about Oldhim. It's the worst thing to play against. It's just fatigue. It's so boring. Everyone's falling asleep at the table. Yeah, that's not how that goes. Everfest bouncing up, bouncing down. Good prices for that, but no unlimited. So we'll see if this ends up going up faster and more like a 2.0 situation, which is reasonable. Uprising is going to go up and to the right. It is rising up. Haha. Interestingly, this is our first 2.0 product. We have some good bounces here. Steady to the right. I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think Dynasty demonstrates it even better. We're getting this downward trend, and I think we'll see the upward trend on the backswing of this. I think this is how we're going to see the new product. You see this? Oops, sorry. I didn't realize I was off the screen for you. See how this is? It's your steady floors, and then it shoots back up. I think we're going to see these kind of U-shaped bottoms post-release into the new set. And then we'll see. I mean, I could be wrong, but 2.0 seems like it's being managed very well. Maybe Dynasty was a little bit too much in the longer downtrend. But if you look at Uprising, it had a similar downtrend. Oh, we don't have the history going back that far. Well, it's down here. I do have it, and I've looked at the data. It does have a downtrend before it goes into the uptrend. So I think we're going to see these natural U's in this 2.0 kind of multi-wave thing. So far, so good. Market's looking good. If you like the content, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. Don't forget to support Tommy in the next couple of weeks. Really appreciate him keeping this thing live and going. I hope you guys are out there cracking packs, playing games, and having a good time with this hobby that you love. And Outsiders is coming. I cannot wait. Until next time, have a good one.